Hello everyone and welcome back for some more Drag Race gossip, secrets and drama. So today we're going to be going through some semi-recent drama to do with Jasmine Kennedie calling out a season 14 queen who apparently no one talks to anymore. I did originally post this video a while back as a Patreon and members exclusive, but because the story has become bigger, I've decided to repost that footage for you all as well. But if you do want to make sure you get the tea early in the future, check out my Patreon or YouTube memberships, which I'll link to in the description. But with that, let's get on to the video. I'm going to be talking about a little bit of drama that happened kind of recently to do with Jasmine Kennedie apparently calling out one of her potential season 14 sisters, saying that no one messes with this queen anymore and has anything to do with them. There is a bit more to do with this drama, which I'll go through. It is a little bit more on the serious side, though, and a lot of it is to do with rumours and speculation because none of it's been confirmed. So I'm just going to go through the things that have been confirmed, but some of the more serious stuff I'm not going to be talking about because I think it's quite dangerous to go into sort of unverified drama and speculation online. So I'm just going to be going through what has happened and I'll talk you through it. So earlier this month, Jasmine appeared on Plain Jane's podcast, Kudos for Spilling. And during that interview, Jasmine said something about presumably one of her season 14 sisters, which has caused quite a lot of speculation online. The clip was only a few seconds long and she didn't name the queen, but here is the clip.
A queen on my season, I won't say who, because like none of our season with them anymore. And I think you know who. Oh.
After this clip went out, a lot of people started trying to work out which queen Jasmine was referring to, and it's presumed that she was talking about season 14, although she did say my season, so it could also be All Stars 11, but it does seem more likely that it's season 14, and we'll get to that in a second. So a Twitter user posted this clip of Jasmine and said, now which season 14/All Stars 11 queen is cancelled, and we just didn't get the memo. And this Twitter post got quite a bit of traction, with several queens then responding to it. For example, Angeria Paris Van Michaels, who was also on season 14, quote tweeted the clip and said, I mean, she's not wrong. Jasmine then replied to Angeria saying, LMAO, sorry for spooking your tea, sis, but I hope it helps in future endeavours. So it sounds like maybe this was actually Angeria's story and Jasmine was just the one who shared it. I also saw that when someone guessed that Jasmine was talking about season 14 queens, either Orion Story or Maddie Morphosis, Orion replied to that person saying, yeah, no, try again. And then Jasmine herself replied and said, defo not you, sis. So Jasmine didn't mention Maddie or who it actually was, but she did seem to confirm that it was not Orion. Then season 12 queen Heidi in Closet also quote tweeted this clip and said, we've been tiptoeing around this for over a year. Someone say something. And I'll come back to Heidi later on because she posted something else a few days later which is also relevant. But first, after all of this speculation started, Jasmine then recently appeared on the Kelly Mantle podcast, and Kelly asked her about it directly.
Trans Investigation Unit at the Kelly Mantle Show wants to know, recently, speaking of, you were on Plain Jane's podcast. Yes. And you said...
I know what you're going to bring up.
There's a season 14 queen that no one with. Who were you referring to, and why does no one want to with them?
I will say it's not my story to tell.
Okay.
Because it's not something... It's not my place to speak about it.
Got it.
Let's just say that.
Okay.
And
so, do you have any insight as to why we don't fuck with that queen?
Yes.
Okay.
And it's not just because of the sisterhood. It's because of other things that have transpired.
Okay.
And that's why I can't speak about it, because it's not my business.
It's not your story.
And honestly, in plain text to me that same day, she's like, girl, I should have never put that in there.
Oh.
Because it's like, I get why. But at the same time, I'm not the person to speak about this.
Right.
But I thought she cut it out. You know what I mean? Clearly not. But
clearly not.
But also I'm not the one to speak on that experience, because it's I'm not even gonna say that. But it's not my tea to tell.
Got it.
You know, and that's why because it's not my tea to tell. Look at me being quiet and
See,
demure.
look at her being quiet and demure. Her attorneys just came in here and opened the door.
I got a spark at the back of my neck. They're like, shut the fuck up.
So from what Jasmine said, it seems like neither she nor Plane intended for this story to get out, and Jasmine thought Plane was going to remove it from the podcast, but once it was out there, Jasmine didn't take any of it back. And at the same time, while all of this was happening, people started then connecting this to a different story to do with All Stars 10, and I'll quickly go through what the connection may be. As many of you may remember, because I did make videos about this at the time, it was pretty much confirmed that Season 14 Queen Maddie Morphosis was supposed to be on All Stars 10, but for some reason she was not, and then she was replaced by Lydia B. Collins. Back when All Stars 10 came out, Season 14 Queen Kerry Colby went live with Miss Fiercelicious from Canada's Drag Race, and she was asked about Lydia B. Collins joining the cast of All Stars 10, and about the fact that Lydia had joined the process quite late. And during that live, Kerry spilled some quite major tea that not only was an unnamed queen supposed to be in their bracket for All Stars 10, but apparently this queen is no longer welcome anymore on the season or the franchise.
Did your bracket know anything about Lydia apart from Mistress? I saw Lydia very briefly on the first episode. I was a part of the first episode.
Oh, right, you were.
With the pies, yeah.
I am 6'1".
Juan. We got prepped on her when we got to our hotels. We got notified.
I kind of wish they like had not done that and just like made it obvious that like she came back really early, because I feel like it would have gagged the girls more.
Well, I think that the network was panicking, honey, because she was not an original cast member.
Someone said, do I regret doing this?
They had to find a new cast member very quickly. And so basically what happened is they showed us about Lydia because they came to tell us that someone who was supposed to be with us was no longer invited and would no longer be competing. So part of that was that we had to revise our wrapping roasts because they had given us a list of who was in.
Oh, wait. So how much time would you have to revise your roast?
A day. It was like a day or two. It was a day. We recorded the next day, but when we got to our hotels, they came to tell us that, like, listen, your wrapping roast, one of the names that you're roasting, they're no longer going to be a part of the season. They're no longer going to be part of the franchise. And then they didn't really give us any tea. They just said that was that. And then like, but we have a new person. We're really excited. This person is just now coming off of a fresh season. And here is a like highlights reel of who they are, just so you're familiar. But
so you could be able to write your raps or roast about them.
I could have written her into it if I wanted to, yes.
Okay.
So Naisha, what happened? I'm not going to spill too much, guys, because there's a lot going on with that. But all I can say is that there was someone else there and that we were notified that they were no longer welcome and they were no longer going to be a part of the season.
Now, although Kerry did not name the queen specifically, it was heavily rumoured by multiple people that the queen that was supposed to be on All Stars 10 was Maddie Morphosis. And then Season 2 Queen Nicole Paige Brooks, who was also on the same bracket on All Stars 10, confirmed during a live stream that it was indeed Maddie that was supposed to be there.
Should I say the name who got not said there? I don't know, will I get in trouble? Anyway, so they said this drag queen who is also a heterosexual, I can just say that. It was Maddie, yeah.
However, the interesting thing is, Nicole did not say anything about Maddie being uninvited or removed. She just said that Maddie was supposed to be there, but then wasn't. It was actually Kerry who said that the queen who was supposed to be there was no longer invited or welcome. So if you put these two things together, it does point towards Maddie, and that's why so many people have then made that connection. But I do just want to be very clear and say that this does not tell us what actually happened. What it does suggest is that Maddie was cast for All Stars 10 and then was removed before filming, but what it does not tell us is why that happened. And as you saw in the clip, Kerry specifically said that production did not give them a reason. I also just want to say that we don't know for certain if the All Stars 10 story and the thing that Jasmine said are connected, but because of this, people started suggesting that maybe Maddie is the season 14 queen that Jasmine was talking about, who apparently the rest of the cast don't with. However, this is of course not confirmed and is just speculation. There have also been some specific allegations going around online about what supposedly happened, but I've decided that I'm not going to repeat those rumours in this video because firstly, as far as I can tell, the rumours trace back to one particular anonymous Reddit post, and the person who wrote the post said themselves that they don't have a clip or evidence of what they were describing. Secondly, the queen who this allegedly happened to has never said any of this publicly, and as Jasmine said, if it's not her story to tell, then it's certainly not our story to tell either. And thirdly, it is a very serious allegation. It's not just the kind of thing you can put out there and then correct it afterwards if it turns out to not be true. So I don't think it's appropriate for me or anyone else to be repeating something that serious when the only source for it is an anonymous Reddit post. The only reason I'm mentioning it in this video at all is because I know some people watching this video may have already seen the rumours online, but as I said, because it's completely unverified, I don't think it's something we should be repeating. And the last thing to mention about this story is that on the 16th of July, so a few days after all of this drama happened, Heidi in Closet posted again and said, "I see all the drama of the girls fighting, and don't get me wrong, I can enjoy some online beef, but I think it's time we take that same heat to the doll diddler." And that post then got a lot of traction with over 60,000 views. Heidi did not tag anyone in that, and she has not followed it up as far as I'm aware, so she didn't say who she was talking about. But this tweet by Heidi added even more fuel to the speculation, which has also led to even more rumours and theories, which again, I'm not going to mention here because it's all totally unverified at the moment. But I think what we can say for certain is that there does seem to be a season 14 queen who has fallen out of favour with the rest of the cast, and several queens seem to be aware of it and have confirmed that it is true, but they have not said which queen it was. I just wanted to mention this story to keep you all up to date with what's going on, but because so much of it is rumour and speculation and parts of it are very serious, I've just decided to stick to the facts and what has been confirmed. But as always, please just consume this type of content responsibly and don't go around spreading wild rumours if you don't have proof, because this is serious, and of course do not send hate to anyone. As I said, a lot of this is pure speculation, so I've just kept to the bits that have been confirmed, but a lot of the speculation and rumours I'm not going to talk about because it's, I think, potentially dangerous to do so, but I'm just talking about the other parts of the drama so that you're all kept up to date. If you'd like to get things like early access, exclusive content, as well as many other benefits like priority to have your comments featured in my videos, you can check out either my Patreon, which is my main platform, or for a more convenient option if you want, you can also join my YouTube membership by clicking the join button under any of my videos. And there'll be links to both of those things in the description. I'd also like to say thank you so much to my amazing Patreon members. You are absolutely incredible. Your support truly does keep this channel going, and you have no idea how grateful I am to all of you. So honestly, thank you so much. Please make sure you like and comment on this video because it does help to boost it in the algorithm and promote it to even more people. And please make sure you do your big one and smash that subscribe button because it does make a big difference. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope you'll join me in the future for some more Drag Race gossip, secrets, and drama. Thank you so much. Bye.